Hi team, hope you've had a stellar month. Glad to see Seattle is warming up and you can now go outside and enjoy the nature without it being all the snow, even though I know you've been loving it. And I know it's been wet and miserable in Sydney and it's been pretty similar up here as well. It hasn't been raining, but it's been freezing. I'm close to the beach, so it's been really quite cold. Yes, I'm wearing a shirt, it's an Alchemy shirt as well, and I'm wearing shorts at the moment, but I have been trying to rug up inside and trying to enjoy the short weather, even though it's not really shorts weather. What's going on with Alchemy? So I thought I would start with the financials. I know you love the financials, David, so I'll get straight into it. The last 12 months, we have done 110% in growth, which is awesome, which is really great. So for the financial year, we'll be above the 100% threshold, which is awesome. Number one reason for that, I would say, is because of the dashboard that we created, just being able to automate the conversions as well as automating a lot of our processes. It's just been a really great way to grow the business. And we've found as well that it's also maturing in that sense that we've come to the 1 year mark, and you can see the impact from that April introduction to now being in May 2019 is that it is slowing down the growth, because obviously the introduction meant that there was an immediate boost from day one, and then that it's obviously rolled on to the next year. We're still obviously growing fast. Last month I think was 90 or 95% we grew, and I'm still hoping that trajectory will be over 100% at the end of the calendar year, which will mean that our revenue will be over $1 million. The financial year just gone, it's not even the financial year, but the last 12 months we've done 800K in revenue. That's excluding GST, so that's just about 900K, which is great. Obviously, what we're now focused on, we've really done the hustling over the last few months. We've done a lot of work in the day-to-day, and now we're moving into working on the business to work on that growth trajectory. Obviously, the growth is the thing that's going to really make the difference in the future. So we've really thought together, Nick and I, that it's really important for us to delve into that and look on the different ways that we're growing the business. And so the number one thing that we're doing there is our SEO. Well, for me at least, the SEO. I've enrolled into a course. It's through an online platform called Udemy, which is number one in the world for the different courses. And I'm doing an SEO course, which is thousands of people have done across the world, and it's from a professional who's done it for 30 years and XYZ. And their courses, there's hundreds of courses on SEO, but it's based on popularity. And so I've got the bestseller that I'm doing this course on. Highly recommend it actually for your businesses in Seattle and Sydney, for your team, to learn some new skills across the board in many different ways. I've had a look at some of the sales ones. They look a little bit gimmicky, so David, don't hold yourself out for a sales one, but maybe that's the opportunity for yourself, is to build a sales training module. I'm sure it'll be 5 minutes long instead of 10 hours that other people are doing, but I'm sure you can get down the line there. What else are we doing? So SEO is number one reason why we are where we are right now. Obviously the suburb pages, so Avalon Tutoring, English Tutoring Avalon, English Tutoring Monteval, English Tutoring Lindfield, has been a really successful way for people to come to our website and to book with us. Obviously going to Google for tutoring is probably not the most trustworthy thing. So getting those customers across to us has been really great. And then obviously the idea is then to build them into word of mouth customers. So passing on the message to all their friends and then getting that natural organic growth from that. So SEO leading into word of mouth is really our business model, and it's something that we just need to improve on and keep on improving on. Good news is, with our training so far, Nick has really done a great job at the moment, or over the last few years in building the website, and the way we've built it has been that we're on a positive skew towards our SEO. We're on a good track. Obviously just need to fine tune some things and look into areas that, are we doing this, are we not doing this, and work on ways to really create that difference for our SEO. So that we're number one on pages, so that we come on the top of the pages when you search tutoring, when you search English tutoring, when you search maths tutoring, that we're there front and center, and people know to come to us to get that support. What other ways are we growing the business? We're currently in development for our referral program. So over the last 12 months, we've been already doing it. It's been a very manual process and a process that's probably a little bit not great for the user experience for the parents. But we thought we'd just find a seamless way to automate the payments from our back end, automate that whole process with emails and support and all that kind of thing, but also to make it really easy for the parent as well. So we've given unique IDs for parents, so they'll have a unique ID they can pass on to their friends, and they can chuck in that ID, and then the process will sort itself out for them. The idea is that obviously creating that word of mouth is really important, and if we can make an organic way and kind of systemize a way to help them with that organic side, then it's going to be beneficial for us. So we're in the development stage of that, and we're going to introduce that in the coming weeks and months. The next one is our affiliate program. So this is getting third parties involved in the revenue stream, but also to help them build our business. So we're looking at schools, looking at universities, we're looking at community groups, sports groups. We will even look down the idea of campaign books and book publishers into schools. Think of organisations that work with a lot of families, parent groups. Maybe it's in areas that support families. Maybe it's in a lot of separation related things or partnerships that we can build. The idea being that for every session that a student of theirs that have come from their recommendation gets $5 a session for the lifetime. So for community groups, it can be really cool. For sports groups to build their fundraising to be able to support Alchemy with what we do. So we're working on that as we speak, and we're really positive about it, and we want to give it a good test and give it a good crack to see how we can get other people to build our business for us, let's be honest. So that'll be around unique IDs and providing that to third parties, and maybe even a portal for them to see the money that's coming in and seeing the growth that it's doing for them and hitting their own goals. We're also building a parent portal. So that parent portal, we've hit a few little roadblocks along the way, a few little hurdles. The idea of the parent portal is to create that process really efficient for the parents, so they can see all the feedback, see all their payments made, and be able to do extra things as well. Maybe they haven't had a session in a while, they can add a session there, and choose a particular tutor or choose to get a new tutor. And because we have all the details, we can just fling them across straight into leads, and then start the conversion process. That's an idea in my mind that I'm looking to grow into. But also prepayments is a really important part. Help with our cash flow, but help with longevity, help people lock in with us in long term. As you can imagine, if they lock in for 10 weeks, instead of cancelling after 7, they'll complete the 10 weeks, and then maybe they'll think about continuing or finishing up with us. But people are obviously less likely to quit, but they're most likely just to quit if it's just week by week. So we're building that. The hurdles are in the prepayment system, and we're working with Marius to find a solution on that. He's currently at a roadblock, and we're currently shelved that idea with the parent portal because of that. Because that is the key reason why we're building it, is the prepayment system. What else? We hired a South African, as you do. We hired a new customer service agent to really support Nick and I. Ideally, we're going to have one more at some stage throughout the year, but we put a hold on that currently. But her name is Natalie. She's been really great for us the past month or so. We're working with that as a whole new different ball game, managing more staff. And the idea is that the more people we have working in the business, the less that Nick and I have to work in the business, and we can work on the business in these growth areas, as we found is really important, and to not rest on our laurels, but really just to focus on the growth. Great thing about South Africa, 2 things. One, the cost. They're very similar price to a Filipino. I guess an entry level South African is the same as maybe a manager at a level or a solid Filipino. So really affordable, but also it's English speaking first. And I think people answering phone calls or calling our call center or our customer service, having a response from someone with a South African accent is very new to people, and it's something that no one really thinks about, or is that, they have a team in South Africa. No one really asks that question, whereas Philippines, it kind of can ruin your quality, I guess, of your service you're offering. So that's something that we've introduced. We'll continue to monitor and continue to see how valuable it is. The negative is it is night work for those that work in it. So they're working from 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. So is it sustainable for them? How do we help them in being a long-term relationship with people that are working in the South Africa? But that's really promising for us. And we're excited. This person writes really well, communicates really well, obviously with a little bit of an accent, but we're in that training process, so that training has been a little bit arduous, but we're trying to hand it over so she just manages it for us. But that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, have any extra thoughts for us, little nuggets of wisdom or anything that you've come across in the last month that you go, oh, that's really interesting, I should point that out to Matt and Nick, please feel free to do so. We're always happy to hear your feedback and anything of that nature. David, I really enjoyed that discussion we had at lunch. I'm still thinking about some of the things we discussed and things around that PR kind of route as well. How do we get a professional to bring out data-based information on tutoring, and how do we get that to the widespread media? So that's obviously a long plan. It's something that we don't do overnight, but it's something that's been on my mind, and I'll continue to happy to hear any ideas you may have across the board. Anything you're doing in your work, Marco, that you think can really correlate well with us would be awesome. The last thing I'd say actually is the growth side of things. We're looking to grow into Brisbane and Melbourne, so we're building the SEO pages, building those web pages, and looking to jump into there as soon as we can. And we'll do that probably end of the year, start of next year, and to really launch that now that we're efficient in everything that we're doing. We're obviously improving every day, and we have many new fixes and things to do in our systems to really make that better, and to know that we're on a path is really cool. But obviously want to stay above the 100% growth to really help us in those future years. 1 million in 2019, 2020 can mean 2 million next year, 4 million the following year, and really open us up to really some great winnings across the board. Okay, thanks guys. Sorry it's so long.